Hello, everyone, and we are live. Welcome to our live where we talk about how it is that we can help solo private practice care owners improve their efficiency, increase their revenue, enhance their customer experience, and in the end, really to create more time so you're not burnt out and spinning at the wheels as what normally happens for so many of us while we're growing our practice. So I'm Michelle O'Connor, I'm your business growth advisor. Now, we have been talking about generating results such as increasing your revenue, utilizing the various marketing tools that are out there to help you to grow. And one of the concerns that we get is, where do we find the time? You find that time through automation. So if you know someone who is struggling with the tasks, the daily tasks that's involved in running your practice, and you want them to hear about this, ask them to join. We're going to be live for the next 20 minutes. Now, when you think about the tasks that you have, especially in this age, just about anything you're doing can be automated. And we're going to be sharing with you some of the tools that patients that we know have used, and also some of the persons that we partner with in helping persons to grow. If at any point in time you have any questions, my link to my calendar will be in the chat. Please go ahead and just schedule a call and we'll have a conversation about how it is that we can help you. So let's get going in showing you some of what you're able to do. Now, one thing that you're able to do is your appointment scheduling. I don't know how many of you still have somebody just calling persons directly from a book that you've written down names in. And while calling is important, you still are able to automate this process so it begins before. So whether it is you're sending persons an email, and we are going to get into some of the tools, but whether you're sending persons an email, you're asking them to confirm, and even before the appointment, they're getting your appointment is in 1 hour, your appointment is in 20 minutes. How close are you? You're able to create that experience for them so you are present without you physically taking up the phone and calling, or be just, okay, they scheduled an appointment 5 months ago. I'm sure that they are going to be coming in. So you're able to do that. The next thing that we're going to be talking about is billing and invoicing. No, you don't need to do it the way you've been doing it long ago. There are ways, so we'll get into that. We're also going to be talking about patient intake and documentation. That's another thing. You go to the doctor's office, they're pulling your file from a cabinet and they're skipping through. Oh, did you change your name? Oh, the reason I couldn't find your form is because it was under somebody else's name, or, we had it under your maiden name. Different things can happen. But when this process is automated, we're also going to be talking about some of the results that you're able to generate when you've automated this process. Prescription management. You've had the experience where your patients are sitting in front of you, or if you are the patient, your doctor is writing the prescription while he's talking to you. And when you think about what you're able to do and what you're able to achieve by implementing some of these things, it then enhances the experience that you're offering to your patients. And also, what it does is that it provides you with more time to sit and listen to them. So you're not thinking about the next thing. Oh, I now need to write the prescription. Okay, I've written the prescription. Now I need to collect the money. I need to swipe the card, whatever that thing is. We want you to also know that you can automate your prescription management process. Patient communication and follow-up. We touched on that with appointment scheduling, but we spoke about last week when we talked about how you can continue to communicate with your patient, and that includes ensuring that you are not just seeing them when they have an appointment, but you're also considering them when they are not there. So you're thinking about, okay, it's a season, fall is coming, persons normally have a certain type of illness. How am I going to be sending out communication to prevent these things from happening? So we're going to be touching on that. These are some of the results that doctors have realized by implementing some of the things that we're going to be talking about Reduction in appointment no-shows. That is a concern. When patients don't show up, it means that there is a gap. Your whole schedule is thrown off and you're not able to manage that efficiently. You're trying to fit them into another time. It may not work for them. And it's not just them not coming in. You're really concerned about their health. You're really concerned about the procedure they're coming in to do, and you want to satisfy them. So you also want them to come in because you never can tell when the next appointment is going to be. Increasing patient satisfaction. We touched on that earlier, where if you're not doing so much admin task and you're able to completely focus on your patient, what is that, experience looking like for your patients? Reduction in admin time. If you work with a team of 20, we're seeing 20, we've been seeing 20 to 30%. So that is what the surveys have shown. When you are able to utilize your admin time more effectively, then they can do other things instead of the ones that can be automated. Revenue collection, one of the persons that we work with that, focuses on billing, Doctor's Papers, what they have shown for the clients that they have worked with is, account the reduction in your accounts receivables. Sometimes we're not paying attention to that, and really we know you really don't have the time to put focus on that. You leave that to your accounts manager or even your admin manager for your practice. But we want you to know that that is possible. I am going ahead. And billing errors, that is something else. I've had the experience where I've gone to my doctor and they actually billed me and swipe my health card for the incorrect amount. And we know these things are human error. And that is why when you're able to automate that process, then you can focus on the other things that you want for your practice. So if at any time during this you want to go ahead and get in touch with me, you can go ahead and scan. If you're joining from a device that you are able to scan from, you may be watching on your computer, on your phone, just take a picture of this and go ahead and scan, and it will take you right to our calendars where you can talk to us. All right, so let's get into it. Appointment scheduling. Now, some of the tasks that you're doing, you're managing your patient appointments manually, booking them, rescheduling, and sending reminders. When you have a tool that's helping you to do this, what you can do, you can book. You have an online booking system. It allows you to schedule your patients' appointments. They can also schedule appointments themselves. It also send email reminders, SMS reminders to patients, reducing no-shows and minimizing your admin work. So earlier I would have shared with you, when I get an appointment, maybe like 3 days before, or think about even you showing up to this live, depending on which platform you're joining from, you would have gotten an email maybe an hour before. You got an email maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes before. When you are able to automate the communication, then you don't have to be wondering or sitting and looking through a book. Oh, who is coming in at this time? Let me give them a call. What you're able to do is set that up in the system, and the system sends out the communication for you. Now, because you have the flexibility of a system doing the communication, you can know, did they confirm? You can set the time in which you want to send the information. You want to send the reminders. Do I want the reminder to go out an hour before they come in? 24 hours. If I don't see them, 15 minutes, because the minute they walk in, they go to the front desk. Hey, I'm Michelle. I'm here for my 10 o'clock appointment. If they arrive at 9:45, you can just simply click in the system that they are there. And if it is that they are a no-show, if they don't come in 15 minutes before, that is where your admin could get involved in the process by picking the phone up and calling. But you don't have to sit and go through your phone, your appointment book every day and be calling persons. And when you minimize your no-shows, we spoke about it earlier, you are now able to increase your patient satisfaction, because now they're coming in for the service that you're offering and you're satisfying their need, and you are also able to utilize the admin time to do other tasks. Billing and invoicing. Now you're generating your invoices manually, and we know for some persons you may be providing services for hospitals, not just individual patient care, but you're also thinking about your stock. You're also managing your inventory. So that is also a part of your billing. So billing and invoicing, generating invoicing, processing payments, and managing your accounts receivables. And I spoke earlier about doctor's papers where they were showing me that by doing this, this is what our patients are experiencing. So you want to think about that, because when you think about the revenue and the profit that you're generating for your practice, sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes we only focus on the revenue that is coming in, but you have payments. What's the matchup? And that is why, you need somebody to be managing your cash flow. You need to be knowing what's my receivables looking like, what my payments are looking like, to make sure at the end of the month that it balances and you're not wondering, because not all the time your patients may be able to pay. And then remember that for some persons, you're also dealing with insurance companies, so you want to be managing those as well. So let's talk about some of the tools that's there. So you have Cario and Advanced MD. I should have called the tools for the billing, but you can hit replay and rewind. I'm saying rewind by aging myself, to see the companies, some of the companies that you can work with. What they do, they automate billing. Doctor's Papers also does this, and automating your billing process, generating your invoice, sending reminders for outstanding payments, and integrating it with insurance companies for claims processing. So what you are trying to manage and reduce is the fact that you're going to be looking at your receivables the end of the month. You don't want to wait until the end of the month. Set it up so that you are able, the system is able to send these reminders out. Just like for us we have businesses, we may be using QuickBooks. QuickBooks has a function where within a certain number of days, they're going to be sending a reminder. Payment has not been received. You need to go in and settle the payment. Those are some of the things that you want to do, because we know you're running a business and you want to be able to operate within your expertise and just allow a system or a tool to manage the rest. So you're going to be automating. I'm just including the opportunity for you to get in touch in the event that we have touched on something that you find interesting. I want to know more about that. Go ahead and schedule your appointments. Patient intake and documentation. Now, one of the things my doctor said to me was, when you come in, we allow you to wait because we know you probably have a busy day. We want your pressure to go down so we can check your vitals, that kind of thing. That is different from when patients come in, you're giving them the clipboard and you're having them write in their information. That can be error. That's error prone. Things can change. If I walk in and you're still pulling my information from a cabinet, you've not changed my name. And this happened recently, where a doctor wrote my prescription in my maiden name. Everything else was in my married name. And so what ended up happening, I went to the pharmacy and it was a whole conversation about whether or not they can fill a prescription and give it to me. I had to then go to a pharmacy that I used to go to previously. So I want you to think about not just what you are doing in your practice, but what happens when your patient leave. And we're going to get into prescription management shortly. So tools, again, you can invest in electronic health record systems such as Practice Fusion, because and Athena Health, sorry, because what they will do is allow you to fill out the intake forms online before you visit. Allow your patients to do that before they visit. No, you have the information ahead of time. When they come in, the process doesn't start there. And we touched on this a little bit when we had our conversation last week, when we talk about marketing, because when you're able to collect your patient information online, there is so much more that you're able to do, because you now have autonomy around the questions that you're asking. When they come in, the conversation doesn't start there. When you're talking about marketing, you're thinking about the channels that your patients are using to communicate with you before they even come into your practice. And this can be one of them. They're completing their information, you're automatically uploading their records and reducing the paperwork for your staff. You don't have to be crossing out words. Persons aren't trying to figure out spelling. You are just going ahead and you're automating it. So the patients now are entering that information. Oh, you know what? My address changed recently. Let me upload it on the system. And when patients come in, sometimes they can't remember everything, and that might result in the errors, maybe not of their own. Oh, are you? Oh, no, I'm not living there anymore. And remember that the information that you have as their primary care physician or a physician that has seen them, it goes further than just within your practice. Insurance claims, a lot of other things. So I want you to think about that as well. So think about automating that collection of the patient information. Prescription management, writing and filling prescriptions manually. Not until working with doctors that I realized that this was something that could be enhanced. And especially sometimes when you're in a third world country or you're in an area where this is how it has always been done, you believe that this is just the way that it should be. You should do it at all times. But I want you to think about having a system that streamlines your patient management, your prescription management. Allow providers to send prescription directly to pharmacies and manage refills electronically. So you're reducing paper. I know sometimes that the actual paper is used as a marketing for the pharmacies. No, it now lends for pharmacies to think about other ways in which they can enhance their marketing. So it's not just, okay, I'm going to have these papers printed and hand them to the doctor. As patients, we're not reading it. We're not reading it. The doctors aren't reading it to us either. They are just writing it and sending us on our way. So you get to think about other ways to market, because that way is not the most effective, because we're not reading the papers. I guarantee you we're not reading them. So doctors are now able to send through the prescriptions directly to the pharmacy. How does this now enhance patient experience? As a patient, I don't have to go to the pharmacy and wait. I go to the pharmacy, I give my name. Oh, yes, your doctor did send through, if I'm giving my health card, making my payment, collecting, and I'm on my way. If, as a patient, that is my experience compared to having to collect a paper, go to a pharmacy, only to hear that the medication is not there, that's a turn off. I'm going to choose the one that offers me a higher success rate as a patient. And as doctors, that is why it's important that you think about what you're creating for the patient and not just what's convenient for you. Because if patient experience is what you're thinking about, what is going to enhance that experience? Is it, as the example I just shared, is it going to the pharmacy and hearing that they don't have the medication and having to go somewhere else, or being sure that when I go to the pharmacy, the medication is going to be there? I'm going to choose the one that provides a greater success rate. Patient follow-up and communication. Did I mention? Yes, I'm just trying to make sure that I did mention, I didn't mention the companies, Calio Health, which is a company that I'm partnering with, referring my clients to them because they have a wider range of array of services. Dr. Chroma and e-clinical work. So those are just some of the places that you can use. Patient communication and follow-up. Going again back to our lab that we had last week where we were talking about communication. You might be sending follow-up emails, or you're calling your patient for post-visit care or routine checkups. You may not get them sometimes. Sometimes you get them because you're one person, you're managing persons who are coming. You're seeing patients who are walking into the practice. You're trying to call persons who have appointments tomorrow. The whole thing is just a lot. And we're saying automate to help with that process. What are some of the the automating tools that you can implement. Again, Calio Health, Solution Reach, Demand Force, they help with automating patient communication, and also doctors' papers is one as well. You can always Google, do your own review, see which one it is that you are most comfortable with, or ask other doctors to see what they're doing. And these automate patient communication. And these are some of the things that you're able to do. Send automated follow-up messages, conduct patient satisfaction survey. We also touched on that last week because you want to know what your patient's experience has been. And think about this for a second. The experience that your patients have, it doesn't end when they walk out of your office. We just touched on prescription management. It doesn't end when they fill their prescription. It doesn't even end when they reach home. Because remember, you may be giving them medication, or you would have given them advice, or if they did a procedure, you're giving them feedback on what they're feeling, how they're feeling. You want to know if it's working. So conducting surveys is a very good step in your process of patient care, and it helps you to enhance the service that you're offering. Remind patients of routine checkups and enhance patient engagement, which is what I basically just shared. So you want to think about that as well. Now think about some of the results. We've shared quite a few. Improvement in data accuracy. If I'm entering the information manually, chances of error is higher than if the patient is able to enter that information at a time where they're not in your practice and feeling a little bit stressed. Reduction in registration errors. I touched on that earlier. Incorrect name, incorrect address, incorrect contact number. When you need to be managing you're managing the health record for your patient, that can be used for so many things, even God forbid, after they have died, right? So you want to think about that. Increasing practice efficiency. If you're automating, you're now able to utilize your time for other things that you're not able to automate. Increase in patient portal usage. Because it's a process. We don't always want to enter things online. We're used to you calling, we're used to just walking into our practice on time. These companies have a way of engaging the patients online, so they're using the portals more often. Improvement in staff productivity. If I am able to automate some of the services, I shared one earlier. If the system is sending out the reminder, the patient is saying, yes, I'm coming. Yes, I'm on my way. Be there in 10. These are some of the prompts that you can set using some of these systems, believe it or not. Once they walk in, hi, Michelle, you're here for your 10 o'clock. Great. You're logging that on the system. You can communicate and it's easier for flow. Increase in telemedicine adoption. Again, if I'm going to the pharmacy and I am sure that when the doctor sends off my prescription through the prescription management portal, my prescription is going to be there, I am going to be good. Or the worst thing can happen. You go to the pharmacy and the pharmacist is asking you to clarify something that the doctor wrote. That is just the worst thing ever, because we never ever understand what the doctor writes on those prescriptions. So when I am able to do it, then it helps me to operate better. Along with that, this now even goes to the pharmacist, because remember, they're in your ecosystem. They will know ahead of time what you need and they can communicate. They also are able to see what is requested and ensure that they have those things in stock. And if they know that doctors are requesting a certain medication, they can communicate ahead of time. So we want you to not just try and be efficient, but know that there are tools out there that can help you to achieve these results, right? Calio Health and Doctor's Papers are two of the partners that I work with. I would have mentioned them earlier. If you need more information, please go ahead and put it in the chat. I've also dropped my calendar details. You can go ahead and schedule a call and let's have a conversation. A lot of the results that you want to achieve or that you are going to achieve, you may not be able to just sit and take all the information in. But by implementing and taking some of these that we have shared with you, it could make a world of a difference in your practice. And a lot of the things happen in stages. So those are some of the tools that I wanted to share with you. If you have any questions, I want you to go ahead and drop them in the chat and let's answer them before we go. But I want you to remember that you're able to automate some of the ones that we covered. You're able to automate your patients, your prescription management. You're also able to automate your appointment scheduling, billing and invoicing, patient intake documentation, and your patient communication and follow up. And these are very important. It will go a far way in enhancing your practice, enhancing how your patients experience you. They're going to be like, oh, I can just take my phone up. Let me just let my doctor know I'll be there in 10 minutes. Or if I'm running late, you're able to do that. Because think about an app that provides you with those options. If I am busy doing something which is causing me to be late, I can easily say I'm going to be 30 minutes late in the office instead of the admin person or your front desk or your, whatever title you use. Instead of that person trying to go through a book and calling persons manually, what they can now do with that information is see if they can fill somebody in your slot. Automation helps. And if you're looking on other practices who are doing very, very well and succeeding at what they're doing, and you're thinking, oh, I need to be like them, I guarantee you a lot of them have implemented some automation tools. So remember, if you're watching the replay, please go ahead as well and ask any questions. We normally go through and review and see what concerns persons have. And if you want to find out about any of the companies that I mentioned, you can go ahead and send me a message and I'll reach out to you. Thanks again for joining and have a wonderful day.